Okay, so we're going to have a little look at how cache memory works. Okay, so we have primary storage, otherwise known as RAM. Okay, here's my expertly drawn stick of RAM, and RAM is pretty fast. It's much faster for the CPU to get data from RAM than it is from the hard drive or solid state drive. Okay, so here's my CPU here. You can see it's a multi-core CPU with 4 cores inside it. Okay, now the problem is RAM only works at a certain speed, so no matter how fast the clock speed is of your computer, RAM will only work at a certain speed. You could have the fastest clock speed ever or the slowest. RAM will just work at the speed it works at. Okay, so what this means is sometimes if a program needs to get data quickly, because it needs to process the data very quickly, maybe it could be, for example, a video game with high-end graphics, we can't get data quick enough into the CPU from the RAM. Okay, and this causes what's known as a bottleneck. Okay, sometimes called von Neumann's bottleneck, after the man who invented the idea of a CPU. So instead, what we have is something called cache memory. Okay, cache memory, pronounced cache. So the idea behind this is it's much faster memory than RAM. Okay, and often it's stored just outside the CPU or even in the cores itself. Okay, now often you'll have 3 levels of cache. Okay, so L3, level 3, L2, level 2, L1, level 1. Okay, and the lower the number, the faster the cache is. Okay, so level 3 cache memory, which is inside the CPU, is very, very fast. Okay, and slightly larger than the other levels of cache, though not as big as RAM. Okay, nowhere near as big as RAM in terms of storage space. Okay, but level 3 cache is fast. Now, even faster, you have level 2 cache. Okay, but this is smaller in terms of storage size than level 3 cache. Now, the fastest cache memory you have is level 1 cache. Okay, and this is smaller still, but still much faster. Okay, now the idea is, and this is the key to understanding this, the most frequently used data are stored in cache memory. Okay, and this is because if they're most frequently used, the CPU doesn't have to visit the RAM to get the data, okay, that it needs most. If it's frequently used, it's stored in the cache, so the CPU can get access to it extremely quickly. Okay, so the key to understanding cache, it stores the most frequently used data. So if you ever get a question in the exam on cache memory, use this phrase, most frequently used data. Okay, this is often what the examiner is looking for. Okay, so to sum up, RAM memory is very fast, but it's not fast enough to get the instructions and data into the CPU, and this can cause a bottleneck. So to solve this, we have cache memory, which is very, very fast memory, which is on or near the CPU. Okay, level 1 being the fastest, level 3 being the slowest form of cache memory. Okay, you may think to yourself, okay, well, why isn't all memory made out of level 1 cache? Because it's the fastest. Well, it's also extremely expensive. Okay, it's the smallest storage size, but the most expensive memory. Okay, and that's because it's so quick.